New problems. I'm someone that has to be on the go. I can't be in that area. It just is the truth. Why would I want to be around? So again, concentration versus diaspora or diffusion. Why would I want to be around people that are like me, that are poor, homeless, sleeping on a bunk bed? I didn't sign up for the Navy. Had I signed up for the Navy, apparently that's how you're treated. You sleep on bunk beds like that, and it sucks, and then you get 4 hours of sleep or whatever. But that's how it is on a nuclear submarine, and you're in rotation and all of that. So that's what they signed up for. I didn't sign up for that. I signed up for a cush life. And so, so why would I want to stay around those people after you get up? Um, you don't. So you have to leave. But the problem is, there's no number I can call at Father Joe's. Hey, ring, ring, and to make an appointment to do laundry. So I smell like piss between my legs. I've got 3 pairs of pants. I've got 2 shirts. You see it. It's like Stephen Colbert, the red shirt with the purple shirt. So I that's how gay I am. I do it differently. So purple shirt and a blue shirt, purple shirt and a blue shirt, having an argument with myself. Um, so I have to be down there to make the appointment. I have to go to the post office, and that's going to open up at 9 a.m. It is currently 8:40. So I'm thinking out loud. This is the kind of stuff I need someone for. And so this is going to be my argument from graph paper. We're going to have it. We're going to have it here. So we got to get back there on the green line trolley. But this is what I need someone for. And I'd rather it be a woman, because just like how I need a woman to bathe me, and I need a jacuzzi, and she should have a bidet because of what psychiatry did to my penis. It can't satisfy her, but just to have her and to use her as, look at my trophy wife, and to be able to use her too, other men are going to have to satisfy her. And I need enough money. This is why I need a skyscraper empire. I said, like Donald Trump. I need enough rental income and money from business interests to pay for all of the Kansas City Chiefs to bukkake on my trophy wife, because my penis can't do it. This don't lie. It goes the other way too. I said, that's my slogan is, this don't wait. It doesn't, and that's why it has to be done. But this don't lie, and in the sense that it's a Babel meter, 10, 10, 10, 10, and then this is 6, and then this is 7, 8, 10. But it goes the other way too, which is this is what it is, a size flaccid, a size erect, and it doesn't lie to the woman. So her eyes behold beauty, and this is a real beauty. So that's why other men are going to have to do it for her. This is why she needs bidet to clean it out for me, because there's going to be stink jean. I've got stink slacks, because that's what happens when you got a penis that small, is you go and use a urinal, and it gets all over. And I'm going to talk about the logistical problems with what I should be able to do, which is go down into Tijuana, and right there, I'd love to know the greater Tijuana. That's why I was talking about those 2 girls at the I don't want the pizza delivered to my hotel room from Didi, which is cheap, but there's these 2 beautiful young ladies, and I could have a conversation with them, and they're going to be catching the last taxi down to the area where they live. And maybe because it's Mexico, it doesn't look good on the outside, but you go inside and there's a jacuzzi, and they can bathe me and jack me off and everything. And it's they speak perfect English actually, and they can teach me Spanish. That's kind of the dream I have. You saw my video I made about, but the logistical problems is they use this thick condom. The condom is too thick, and so you can buy your own. But even then, that's the problem I was having. Now I was 400 pounds, so it was a bigger problem. So when I write it, once I was a reporter about all of that, that's a problem I had. My problems are always so anyway, you have to bring this for these people that take Abilify and antipsychotics during puberty that are going to have their penises not develop to be able to doggy style a woman. They're going to have a special bus drive us from the border. We have to catch a trolley down with our CARDTERI, and we get on the bus, and then it drives us down, and then it drives us down there and takes us right into Norte, and then we get off at the alleyway there, and then we can go have fun, and then we get back on the bus. this one for the price of a pack of cigarettes. But again, we one of the problems is a normal condom that for a man with a normal sized penis is actually too thick for me. It doesn't work. It's too. You can't feel the warmth inside her. That's the point of it. At least I can feel the warmth inside her, but because my penis is so small from taking Abilify. But I'm going to make the argument from graph paper. I digress. I don't have my smell consultants. Do I smell okay here? Maybe we should put some deodorant. I smell pretty good. I just put some a couple hours ago. But this is a problem that has to be done right now. Okay, I realize my pants smell bad. I have to do laundry. and I can make a phone right there. I have an idea. I could tell my assistant. So that's why I need all these people, is so that my assistant can then call. I tell my assistant as soon as I have an idea, because I'm not going to remember. I have an idea right now. I tell my assistant. They're holding that card. They're taking care of all the resources that have to be put together while I'm moving on to take over more parts of the world. That's actually the truth of why the middle class life. I talked about your trophy wife becoming a socioeconomic trap for you if she's indoctrinated into her socioeconomic class and the values of it, and anti-Donald Trump kind of stuff. And that's not where I want to be trapped. Even in country music, there's a song, I'm not going to edit in, but where he talks about the wheels spinning, the wheels are spinning, and then the girl, her duty is to stop the wheels from spinning and stop you from traveling all the way up to Chicago from Tennessee on a 4-hour drive. And you belong here in Nashville or whatever, or in Georgia, or wherever it was, country music. My wheels need to keep spinning. Like the MTS logo, that disc never stops, like a checker or something like that. It's got that grooved. It's the wheels of the bus. It's the wheels of the wheels spinning. The disc is spinning. The disc with all the property owners in California, or it's an API. However much it costs, we should be able to afford it. It's spinning. It's spinning. It's spinning. It's finding people to tell my story to, and we're getting property, and we're getting control, and we're getting what I deserve. And we're going to talk about the argument from graph paper for why I need all of these assistants to be, since it can't be where I just make the phone call on a cell phone myself, say, hey, make me an appointment to do laundry. I've got my little book here I got to pull out, since my memory isn't, that's what having one of these little journals is for. Some people, like I said, they can remember in terms of digit span. I should know what the number is called. I should Google it. I don't have time. But there's billion, quintillion, quadrillion, and then quintillion, and then there's all these teraflops or something like that. And then it's a number, so there's so many digits to the number. Some people can remember it. I can't. If you can remember, yes, if there's a bit of an IQ test, just like I talked about this Vatican secret IQ test, if you don't need this, you're good. It's good. You just remember the hours for the computer center are 8:30 a.m. to 11:15 a.m., which I want to go into to meet Ray for, and then also to use the computers in there to save, data, and just be in that area right now at Father Joe's. So they're open from 8:30 to 11:15 a.m., 12 p.m. to 3:45 p.m. They have a long lunch. Catholics have a long lunch. And the post office opens in 15 minutes. So I got to get on the trolley very, very, very shortly. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I got to be there, get the work done, get back. So it's just the errors I got to run. But if I have 5 people helping me, because one of the logistical challenges we're dealing with is that I can't just make a phone call on my own cell phone to Father Joe's and say, what time can I do laundry tomorrow, or if it has to be the next day, put that in the book, put that in Outlook, and it pops up on my phone. And okay, right there, we're going to work around that so I don't smell bad tomorrow, even after I shave. So I'm going to shave. If I shave again, like I did last time for you when I talked about the economics of shaving, what's the point? I still smell like this. One part of my life comes together. Every other part of my life has fallen apart, just like I talked about in the last video where I said, you punch one of the puzzle pieces out, and you start trying to raise that one area, because if you try to do all of it, and then everything falls apart and disassembles, a lot like talking speed. I came to San Diego at the worst time. By the way, it's cool, especially in the mornings. I love how cool it is. It's a great time to get out there, take a run. When I get a job, I can finally buy my 30-pound dumbbells again, put it in a bag, wake up next to it, go downstairs, run through Barrio Logan or into downtown with 30-pound dumbbells. These it doesn't look like there's anything here, and there isn't. There's no muscle here. That's why I need to be doing curls with these 30-pound dumbbells. But they pump up a little more. If every morning I were to get up and do like 100 push-ups, that's on me, I'd look a little better, because it does. Like I said, Vin Diesel, that's the secret of it, is there before they go in for filming, even The Rock, Arnold Schwarzenegger, like a good nigga, Stefan is dia, or however he does that, he switches or something. California governor, Republican, Arnold Schwarzenegger. We had Arnold Schwarzenegger. Are we going to put the Republican in? Are we going to live in reality ever again? State Farm is there, like a good neighbor. But let's make the argument from graph paper. I've got so much to talk about. You know what I said. You know what I'm saying. You know why I need 5 people helping me? The reason why I need 5 girls jacking me off, and it needs to be that, like, massage parlor, and there needs to be jacuzzi, and she should have bidet as a reward for it, is that it has to do with, so that's my segue into the graph paper, which is fine motor skills. Shouldn't touch it. I have a sexual need, shouldn't touch it. Someone services it for me. I have an idea in my head about a business idea. I have an idea in my head about I have to do laundry, shouldn't touch it. Someone does it for me. Why? You could make the case other people with better IQs or whatever it is. It's a little more complicated. Have more graph paper cognitively. I've got less graph paper. Like, so psychiatry said, because he has such a huge ego in elementary school and he has this much graph paper, we have to make the one thing about him that might be his ticket into a beautiful, wealthy, intelligent, elite, athletic woman. If my penis were larger, yes, that has value. It actually has value. Okay, so the liberal adage, like I said, our liberal adage is size doesn't matter. And psychologists and people that have studied this stuff says, well, you can still give her great orgasms with something like that or something like that, but mine is like that. So it's below a threshold. Psychiatry says, well, he's mentally below a threshold. So we're going to make sure his penis matches everything else he is. We're going to bring everything into alignment. Boom, flatten the person on his penis. Has to match what he is up here, what he's going to be this way, what he's going to be in every way. Speed and agility, so that he can't just showboto. And you know what? Whoa, like a candy shop. And that's right there, and then that changes everything. It doesn't matter what I lack up here. It doesn't matter what I lack here. It doesn't matter because this don't lie. So psychiatry said we're going to bring it all into alignment. We're going to make everything aligned. It shouldn't. People should have a splinter skill if they're born with it. So I'm going to give you mine, which is the argument from graph paper now. The problem is fine motor skills. That's why I need a woman bathing me. To give you an example, I want to show you my toenails. I have an idea right here. We need to take care of my toenails. I should be able to immediately tell my assistant, and my assistant sets me up to be pedicure at a luxury place. Right? I've had this idea occur in my head many times, but here's my toenails. Look at that. Look, this is not even the bad. That's not. Well, that's bad. But they've got to give me a pedicure. They've got to cut my toenails. So let me take. Because I should just take the upgrade and be an executive, because they're right there. Look at that's a talent. That they need to cut that they need to go and get me a pedicure. I've got no assistant that I can tell about it, and they immediately get the plan in place. But because I've got smaller graph paper, well, what we can do with it, like looking at a computer screen, even though I'd rather talk to people than be looking at a computer screen, even though society would rather I interact. Mukti, you interact with a computer. You're incompatible with society. You interact with a computer. Compatible people interact with people. You interact with a computer. I don't want to interact with a computer because then you're going to need 5 girls jacking off in a hot tub. But I get this, and I don't start doing this and then open up Penthouse magazine, which one looks like Melania Trump from the Euro Girls, and do this. I tell my assistant, and then they get the hot tub ready, and then a girl's brought in, and she's got a beautiful designer dress. The designer dress comes off, I touch her, and then she does this for me. Because I lack fine motor skills. So it kind of has always been this way. The cush job people, they're a little bit rough around the edges in that way, and a lot of them were smaller graph paper people. But what they've decided to do is try to, because of eugenics, evil eugenics, we're going to make sure you can do the jobs of your underlings before we upgrade you to a managerial or supervisory position. But someone like me is better off just being the president of the United States, because with my smaller graph paper, like Russian nesting doll entities, all of my skyscrapers, all of my fourplexes, before we trade them into skyscrapers, all of my apartment buildings, all of my strip malls, owned by this LLC, owned by this trust system, owned by, and subsidiary is the word, subsidiary. It's a company owned by another company for liability protection purposes. That stuff you can do with smaller graph paper. That's my idea of Russian nesting, not Edward Snowden have Russia save you and take a rainbow dancer. Uh, and I look at a person, even if they have higher ability than me, I can still have authority over that person because that person is a tool. And I know where, if I can be very good at knowing where to put that tool to make me money, then I can have the money I need to have the hot tub, the bidet for the girls, and someone making sure my nails are cut, my suits are taken to the cleaner, my clothing is not smelling like piss, the appointments are made, the trophy wife is pampered, and my sexual needs are taken care of along with my hygiene needs, because why not? And the wine is poured when Elizabeth Hurley is in a bubble bath with Austin Powers.